My number 5 NFL team, I have to go with the Buffalo Bills. I feel like the Buffalo Bills absolutely hammered the Steelers, dominated them. I didn't like what I saw versus the Dolphins when it came to a tight game. I don't like Josh Allen still being their leading rusher in games. I feel like that's not a recipe for success. You can't sustain that over the course of a season because one of these hits, I hate to say it, but you're playing with fire when Josh Allen's your leading rusher. And overall, I think you have a really dominant defense. Gabriel Davis is coming on, so I have them at number 5.
My number 5 team is going to surprise you. You're going to probably hate this. Cowboys.
Woo.
I had the Cowboys.
Okay.
Because the fact that they're able to win 4 straight games with their backup quarterback, and Cooper Rush has played well. I give him a lot of credit there. However, it's their running game that's been getting them going. It's been Cooper Rush's connection with CeeDee Lamb, and it's been their defense. Their defense has been carrying them. It's reminiscent of how the Steelers were last year when Big Ben was a fossil, except for Cooper Rush is much more competent at this point. I like the Cowboys a lot, and I think when Dak Prescott returns, that offense should continue to be efficient. I like the Cowboys at 5.
At number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that defense is still elite. They showed they could win a game based on their defense versus the Falcons. And then their wide receiving core still needs to get healthy. Mike Evans was suspended a week, set them back a little bit. But overall, they're going to continue to get better each week. Chris Godwin, Julio over the course of the year, they'll get more consistent reps. And then Brady is going to get better each week, usually comes around halfway through the year. But with that defense and Todd Bowles being the head coach this year, Leonard Fournette playing out of his mind, having the best year of his career so far. I have to have the former champs last year at number 4.
My number 4 pick, I have the 49ers. I saw what they did to the Panthers, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo makes their offense a lot more fluid. My complaints with the 49ers earlier in the season was I didn't like their direction with Trey Lance. Jimmy G comes back into the fold, and they pick up right where they were last off. I think the 49ers are going to cruise to a division win. I like their defense a lot. I like their offense a lot. I like their run game. I like their coaching. All around, 49ers are one of the best teams in the NFL, and they will be a problem in the NFC.
Yeah. At number 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like so far they've been one of the best all-around teams in this league, but I just need to see them continue to get better. I need to see that continued trust in Jalen Hurts. Sunday night is going to tell a lot with how good they are, but I still need to see more. Young head coach, need to see them continue to get better throughout the season. Need to show that hot start, that they're not cooling off. The 20-17 game worries me a little bit versus the Cardinals because I thought they should have won by a little more. But if you come out and blow out the Cowboys, they'll definitely move up. But for now, I have them sitting at 3.
At 3, I have the Bills. I think the Bills, like we mentioned before, when the Bills are rolling, they are dominant. I mean, they are. Their defense, you can't get anything off on them. Defensive line, ridiculous. And then don't even get started on their offense. Josh Allen is one of the most unstoppable quarterbacks in the league. You got great receivers there. The Bills are scary. I think there's only 2 teams that can contend with them. One of them being in the AFC, I'll get to later. The Bills I have at 3.
At number 2, based off of last year and 2 years before that, and them having a lot of starters from this team, San Francisco 49ers absolutely came out, did what they should have done versus the Panthers. The Broncos game for me, you're in Denver. It's Jimmy Garoppolo's first full week of starters reps. So he needed time to kind of get back in his groove. Well, he has. And he found a stud running back in Jeff Wilson that fits into that system perfectly. Deebo Samuel and George Kittle may be one of the most dynamic duos, and you have a legitimate 2 and 3 now in Jawan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk. Those guys have been very nice complementary pieces. And your defense, it's awesome. Nick Bosa, shout out to you. You're awesome. Fred Warner, shout out to you. You're awesome. And you guys make that defense go. Kyle Shanahan's still one of the best coaches in this league, and he's making a quiet case for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I love it. At 2, I have to have the 5-0 Eagles. I mean, everything that you mentioned before. We have Jalen Hurts, who's having an MVP season. You have their defense, Darius Slay playing some of his best football, locking down some of the best wide receivers in the league. their defensive line. They're getting sacks, they're getting turnovers, and it's capitalizing into points. The Eagles have been one of the best teams in the league right now, if not the best team. But my number one pick, I just have to out of respect for this team. So I have the Eagles at 2.
And then we both have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. So far, Patrick Mahomes has been the best player in the league. Their defense is playing well. It's getting stops when they need to. It looks like the hit on George Karlaftis. He's played really well so far. Justin Reed has been a great fit at safety. They picked him up from the Texans. And Chris Jones is still a monster. And he dominated the game yesterday. Should have had a strip sack for a fumble. Called a roughing the passer, but honestly, I think it should have been a football play as soon as he stripped the ball and had it in his hands. And then Mahomes is the best player in the league. Kelsey's the best tight end in the league, even though he's 34, not showing any signs of getting older. And then your wide receivers are working.
I like it. Yeah, like you mentioned, their wide receivers with their whole new system working seamlessly. It looks like they're starting to implement Sky Moore, which would bring back that Tyreek element that they had last year. Their defense, while I don't think it's the best defense in the league, that defense makes a lot of plays, and that defense has been playing really well so far this year. Made some big plays against the Raiders, made some big plays against the Bucs. So the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes playing the way he is, playing the best football he's played in his entire career, the Chiefs are scary. I watched this team, and I'm like, holy shit, this team could run the table, and I don't see any team that can beat the Chiefs right now. Their offense is unstoppable. It's unpredictable last year, if you could contain Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, which, by the way, is not an easy task. But if you're able to do that, the rest of the offense is clunky. They have a good run game. They have a good defense. And then Patrick Mahomes playing out of his mind. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL.